Today I'm renovating Johnny Zest's house in Oasis Springs. First I'm seeing what I'm working with. The house is blue. It has medium walls, which I think is way too high, especially for a house this small, so I made it smaller. First I am going into the bedroom. The most important thing I want to do with this house is to light it up. It is so incredibly dark. Also, I am giving him a double bed. I think you would like this if he brings his conquests over. It is not a starter home. I think the whole home was something like 23,000 simoleons. It got a little more expensive, but not a lot. I think Johnny can still afford to live here. To make it more light, I use the double saucer trick. I use the really tiny saucer light and I place a pretty light on top of it. That way you get really good lighting. Also, I am using bigger windows. And Johnny didn't have a computer, so I gave him one. Not a high-end one, it's one of the cheaper ones, but still he can use a computer. He had that crate in some place in his house, maybe even already in the bedroom, and I really like that. I'm using these curtains. They are base game. The whole house is base game. I am not using anything from other packs because it is in Oasis Springs and it is a base game world. I think those curtains are actually for kids' bedrooms, but I think this color swatch is pretty nice, also for an adult. And this bathroom is too big. I am making it one row smaller. I did like the size of the kitchen though, so I just added a wall there. I did not like the color of the kitchen, so I'm gonna change this up entirely. The appliances will be white and I am gonna place blue cabinets. The outside of the house is blue and I am just taking it inside. Inside is also blue. I was a bit indecisive of where I wanted to place the stove. I really didn't want it next to the fridge, but it seemed like there was no other option, so it's next to the fridge. It still works, of course. And a hood above the stove, some matching upper cabinets, and I'm adding some extra upper cabinets. But I think that looks really nice. And a fire alarm. I am now realizing I forgot a sink, but there is a sink in the bathroom, so you can still use a sink here. I'm placing different tiles on the floor and I'm placing tiles on the wall. I think that looks great in a kitchen. And of course I'm replacing the windows again with bigger windows. I had no idea what to do with the microphone. He needs it for his career. He is an entertainer. Not a very good one, but he still needs it to practice at home. I am giving him an actual dining table instead of that wooden thing he had. That was just sad. And I'm giving him a bar. I think that fits his personality. He kind of needs a bar. I did like the couch but not the swatch they picked, so I made a white swatch also that makes the whole place a little bit lighter. All the furniture is either light blue, wood or white, just to make it all pretty light in here. I also changed the walls up. It's the same wood on the walls, but a lighter swatch. And giving him a glass coffee table. I never use it in houses where I know there will be children living, because it's just a scary thought for me. I know it's a Sims and it doesn't really matter, but he is single and he doesn't have any kids, so he gets a glass coffee table. I am placing blue wooden floors. I never use them, but they seem to fit this place, especially with the blue kitchen and the blue in the curtains. I thought that looked pretty good. I hope you liked it too. And here there was this empty space in the hall, so of course I'm placing a plant in here. Now I'm going in the outside. I want a different front door. I'm going for this with a lot of glass in it, also extra light of course. And the porch of the foundation, I wanted it to be more of a trailer. I don't know if that makes sense, but I liked these tiles a lot more. Now I'm going to focus on the outside of the house. I wanted to make the trim all blue instead of green, but the Sims thinks it is blue. What now at the trim? It still looks a bit green to me, but what do I know? And now I just deleted everything in his garden. That wasn't much of a garden. He has this huge space and he doesn't do anything with it, which is just a shame. So I made a pathway that connected several parts of his garden to each other and placed decorative stuff between it. Lots of rocks, because this is Oasis Springs and there are just a lot of rocks. These are debug rocks. Just because I like how they look in here, placing some plants in between them. I limit the different type of plants I'm using, just to make it all look a bit the same, look like it belongs together. I'm placing a big tree here, just like the shade, and here he will get a hot tub. I think Johnny needs a hot tub. It's just, I think it fits him the way I see him. And during the screenshots you will see he really enjoys sitting in his hot tub. Also placing a few loungers there and some more plants. Yeah, here I'll go with the loungers. Just enjoy the sun, getting a bit of a tan, and some more rocks, of course. I didn't want to go overboard for the price, so I didn't put too much in the garden. I didn't want to give him a pond because I always think that looks really nice. To make it look a bit more natural, I sank it down one, and I'm placing some rocks and plants along the sides just to cover up the straight edges to make it look a bit more natural. If I hadn't committed to using only base game, I would have used the coins from Snowy Escape. I really like them, but it still looks good this way too. I am going one floor down to make the whole pond look brown in the inside, just to make it look a bit more natural. I am placing some fountains, that spray water in there. I think that looks nice. And here we go into the screenshot. Like you see, the whole place is livened up a little bit. There's a lot more light. You see, Johnny is looking a little bit different. I have made him over as well. I will post a link to his makeover somewhere in the description. I really hope you liked it. If you did, please press a like, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.